Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're a physical education teacher, you probably know this feeling all too well. It's that looming thread of budget cuts, staffing reductions, and just that constant heavy pressure to justify why you belong in the school. Well, today, we're going to completely flip that script. We're turning that defensive mindset into a flat-out winning playbook for saving your PE program. We're drawing on some fantastic insights that show exactly how to approach district leaders, not with a desperate plea for survival, but with a powerful, undeniable value proposition. So, we're starting with a massive perspective shift right out of the gate. This idea is basically the bedrock of everything we're talking about today. We're moving away from just begging to keep a job, and instead, we are handing district leaders a strategic opportunity. Just think about it from their side of the desk for a second. They're constantly being asked for things, right? More money, more resources, more time. When you walk in and say, "Save my program," you're honestly just adding to their pile of problems. But when you reframe it and say, "You have the chance to lead," you are suddenly offering them a solution. You're giving them a chance to shine. So, how do we get there? Here's our 5-step playbook to saving your program. 1. Reframe your pitch. 2. Speak their language. 3. Make the leader the hero. 4. Build a 3-part case. And 5. Protect the whole child. Let's just dive right into it. Step 1. Reframe your pitch. Before you even draft an email or request a meeting, you've got to practice some empathy. Your principal is likely drowning in budgets, testing pressure, and parent expectations. They probably haven't had a hot cup of coffee in 3 years. So instead of going with the traditional defensive approach of "save my program," which honestly just sounds like a staffing request, we need a new paradigm. You want to walk in with the attitude of, "Let's solve district problems together." You have to stop pitching PE as this vulnerable add-on and start framing it as a highly practical tool for improving conditions across the entire building. Research from the national academies and the CDC literally shows that quality PE supports broader educational benefits. And guys, that is exactly the kind of problem-solving leverage your district leaders are absolutely desperate for. Moving on to step 2, speak the leader's language. You need excellent court vision here to anticipate what your superintendent actually cares about. Just like in sports, you have to read the room. Let's walk through how to translate PE into their language. If they're hyper-focused on academic outcomes, you show them how quality PE actually improves learning conditions and school-wide engagement. If they're stressed out about attendance and behavior, you can directly connect movement and routine to self-regulation and a much calmer classroom climate. If budgets are keeping them up at night, gently remind them that cutting PE prevents hidden future costs. And if equity is a major district initiative, highlight that PE is often one of the only school-based opportunities that every single student can access, regardless of their family's income. Whether they are focused on academics or equity, your job is to show them that PE is a massive part of the solution. Step 3. Make the leader the hero. District leaders rarely resist PE out of active dislike. It's usually just a numbers game to them. But more importantly, they just haven't been offered a positive identity to step into. People want to feel good about the decisions they make, especially the really hard ones. So I want you to memorize these exact words for your pitch. Seriously, write this down. You can be the leader who protects a program that serves every child, strengthens school culture, and supports the whole mission of the district. Presenting them with this exact phrasing gives them a positive identity to step into. It lets them see themselves as the visionary who chose evidence over assumptions and long-term whole school value over short-term cuts. Basically, you're handing them a superhero cape. They just have to put it on. All right, step 4, build a 3-part case. When you actually sit down for the meeting, remember that leadership responds to clarity, not a 50-page manifesto on the history of fitness. You need to construct a fully rounded case containing 3 essential elements. First up is student impact, which includes health, engagement, and school climate. Second is program quality. You absolutely must emphasize that you provide certified teachers, sufficient time, and meaningful instruction. You're not just rolling out the ball. And third, district alignment. Show how your PE program actively supports their existing district goals rather than competing with them for resources. If any of these 3 pieces are missing, your pitch is probably going to fall flat. And you have to back up that framework with simple, undeniable, local evidence. National statistics are great, sure, but leaders are way more likely to act when they can see the program's effect in their own system. So bring their receipts. Show them how a basketball unit improved afternoon attendance. Share feedback from a second-grade teacher who noticed better self-regulation in the classroom on the days their students have PE. Point out cross-curricular connections where you actually reinforced math or reading skills during a movement activity. Make it local and make it tangible. Now, what if they're still feeling the budget pressure and pushing back? If that happens, walk through these 4 steps to reduce resistance. Your goal here isn't to win an argument, it's to reduce friction. So tie PE to their existing goals. Provide concise, one-page briefs, nothing too overwhelming. Come to the table with actual scheduling or collaboration solutions rather than just complaints. And finally, invite them in. Have them observe a strong, structured lesson so they can see quality instruction in action without being combative. When they see it running efficiently, it becomes so much easier for them to support it publicly. And finally, step 5, protecting the whole child. Let's tackle the absolute elephant in the room here. The budget pressure is real, but a budget crisis often forces leaders to cut what's easiest, not what matters least. Because PE's value isn't measured in immediate standardized test scores, you have to force them to answer this critical question: what is the return on protecting PE? We have to shift the conversation away from the immediate cost and focus on the long-term return on investment. Look, if they eliminate the one subject that builds physical literacy, movement confidence, and healthy habits for all students, they might save a few dollars today, but they will absolutely pay for it later. These are the hidden costs of cutting PE: lower student wellness, a noticeably weaker school culture, missed prevention opportunities, and the devastating loss of lifelong health habits. Quality PE is prevention, culture building, and student support all wrapped into one. Cutting it is simply a bad financial and educational calculation. So, the crucial takeaway here is this: the strongest argument for PE is not sentimental, it is structural. When a district treats physical education as essential, they are structurally affirming that student development includes more than just academics alone. They're building a system that actually backs up the rhetoric of caring for the whole student. As you step into your next pitch meeting, leave your leaders with this final thought: are we protecting a class period or the whole child? Making it undeniably clear that protecting PE is a visible, long-term commitment to the success of the entire school is exactly how you win. Go into that meeting with evidence, with humility, and with this strategic playbook. Because honestly, if you don't fight for the physical future of your students, who will?